you might have been wondering recently why the weather has been like the weather has been. Everyone's saying it's the big chill, the weather patterns are changing. We're going to find out about that. Peter Blake's here, and we're going to talk weather from the Bureau of Meteorology, Senior Duty Forecaster. Good morning.
Good morning, Gabrielle.
Peter, is it true? Is it the big chill? The media really get behind all these things and rather extend them. What's happening?
Well, pardon me, they certainly do. It's actually more or less quite normal. It is winter and it is cold and it rains.
Now, you've brought in some satellite photographs that we'll have a look at this morning, and I think there's Sundays and Mondays weather pattern?
This is correct. This was Sunday afternoon around about lunchtime. You can see the swirl of the cloud there just near Adelaide. This is the low which developed over the weekend. It slowed down a little bit as it approached South Australia. We were expecting it on Saturday, but it slowed down and developed as it went, and as a result we didn't really see it until Sunday.
Right, so when we hear of the big chills, it really is, as you say, perhaps just normal.
It is normal. Admittedly, it's a little bit late coming this year. A couple of winters ago it didn't really start to rain until June virtually, and I think we were lulled into a false sense of security, and ultimately it did rain, and of course everybody's forgotten that it's cold.
Yes, I think the retailers all woe the weather when it's nice and warm until June or July, and then we, all the consumers, they're sitting there saying what wonderful weather. Now we're just looking here. What is that?
This is our surface chart for 3 p.m. on Sunday. As you can see, the low is centred right over Kangaroo Island, with the isobar is very closely packed on the western side of it, and this indicates quite strong winds, and we had quite a lot of warnings out for Saturday and Sunday, as you may remember.
Now, the direction that the isobar's originating from, it's coming from, due south almost?
Almost due south, and the origin of the air was from the very deep south.
So hence the chilliness, and I guess we had been a little bit spoilt beforehand with the nice weather.
I think so. Normally with winter we tend to ease into it around about May. It starts to rain around May sometimes, or by late May. And I think we were lulled into a false sense of security.
So we do have very short memories, don't we?
I think we do. And selective.
And selective, yes. I think you've been the butt of a lot of jokes over the years. What about technology? The forecaster now has at your disposal a lot of advanced technology. Is it helping or confusing the issue?
Well, a lot of people say, all right, well, you've got all this technology, you've got satellites, you've got radar, you've got all this and that. It's certainly improved the quality of the information we get, and we hope from that we have improved our forecasting, our actual forecast that we issue. But also remember that any satellite picture, any radio sonde or aircraft report is just that. It's a snapshot of the weather at that time, and it's still up to the man to decide what happens from there.
So the powers that be regulated after that. You take one specific picture or photograph and you interpret that at that given time.
We put many things together. We get information from the surface, from the upper air, from satellites, from aircraft. We put it all together as a whole picture and hopefully get the forecast right.
The actual satellite technology, how often does a satellite pass now? I mean, I guess it has increased over the years.
We have actually access to 2 satellites. One is a polar orbiting satellite, which orbits the Earth from pole to pole about every 90 to 100 minutes. And the other one is a geostationary satellite, which is at one point all the time, so that it's seeing the picture of Australia all that time, just that particular picture.
Right, so you can get a print, I guess it comes as a print, like we saw the original ones?
Yes, we get a print. We get a print out every 3 hours, or if necessary, we can get them every hour.
So that does give you, as you said, it gives you the indications at the time. What happens from there is, well, not in your hands.
No, that's true, but we make an assessment of what is actually happening, whether the system is developing, we can see which way it's moving, and we can tailor our forecast accordingly.
So all those with doom and gloom and perhaps ozone layers and greenhouse effect, you perhaps would say that it's not always as it sounds? No,
not always. I think at this stage most of the weather we're getting, or appears to be extremes, just natural variability at this stage. We're trying to look at trends in the weather, the way greenhouse warming and so on is going on, but really our period of records is far too short to try to determine anything.
We haven't been here quite long enough, Peter.
Not quite.
Thanks very much for that, and I hope the weather, well, does whatever you say it's going to do.
Thanks, Gabrielle.
Thank you. It's interesting to find out about the weather. We talk about it so much every day, and it's a constant topic of conversation, so I thought we'd bring Peter in just to have a bit of a chat and see what goes. And now Cheryl has some